Hello, my fellow comic book lovers and 14 amazing subscribers. This is Daniel at the Kraken's Lair Comics. We're going to go deeper into the lair. Deeper into the lair. We're almost there. Almost to the Kraken's Lair. Some people have commented they like my Egyptians decorations, so I figure I would show some of those. This is kind of cool. This pyramid-shaped recessed bookcase. Once again, deeper in the lair. I will be back in 1 second with some comics. Okay, everybody, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to a new episode of Kraken's Lair Comics. I want to do a couple of shout-outs. First off to Alex, the comic hoarder. He did some shout-out about my channel to the comic book community, which has nearly doubled my subscribers from my original 8 amazing subscribers. I'm now up to 14. I want to also make a correction. One would think when I had 8 subscribers I could keep everything straight. I couldn't. I gave credit to Alex the comic book hoarder for an idea that I got from watching Mr. Comics 89, one of his videos where he had pulled just some random books out of his collection, and I wanted to give credit where the credit was due. I thought that was like an interesting idea, just to randomly pull some books, go through them together. I thought, made for a fun video. Hopefully you guys agreed. To some of my new subscribers, I want to thank you guys for joining my channel, for checking it out. If I'm missing anybody, hit me up in the comments. I'll give you a shout out the next video. Some of my new subscribers is Comic Book Flipping, Certified Comic Shop, Ricky Ticky 32, love this name, Pope Cerebus the First, Captain Kirk Productions, and Playa with 2 Y's 21. I'm starting to watch some of your guys' videos. So far, I've been really enjoying it. Some really great books, some great content. Hopefully, I can live up to the high bar. Now, the focus of today's video, while a lot of us who have been collecting for a long time realize that sometimes, say, a #1 issue of a comic book may not be the first appearance of that character. But for newer collectors, they might not be aware of this. Certainly some of the most famous, valuable comics of all time. Action Comics #1, first appearance of Superman, predates Superman #1. Detective Comics 27, first appearance of the Batman, predates Batman #1. Amazing Fantasy 15, first appearance of Spider-Man, predates Spider-Man #1. So for new collectors, sometimes, like, say you're flipping through comics in a bin, and you see a #1 issue, which I personally myself for the longest time is like, if I saw a #1 and I didn't have it, I was like picking that up. A lot of times, I made out very well by that. I picked up Eternals #1 for $14. That book is skyrocketing. But as a new collector, you do need to realize that sometimes the first appearance of characters predates what would be a #1 issue. A lot of times, I'm more of a Marvel guy. I'm sure DC did the same thing. That they would test market characters. And they had a couple of certain titles that they sort of did this in. There was a Marvel Feature, Marvel Premiere, Marvel Spotlight. And they would test market these characters, see if it generated enough interest to possibly garner that character their own monthly title. So you need to be aware of this. Now, there's lots of information online where you can look up, not only like first appearance of characters, there's also websites where it'll actually list chronologically appearances of a certain character in comic books. Because there might be a character like Black Panther. His first appearances in Fantastic Four #52. Beyond that, he was in other Fantastic Four issues. He was in Avengers issues. Then there was a Jungle Action that there was a run that featured the Black Panther. All this is long before Black Panther #1. Not to say that Black Panther #1 is not a good book to purchase, because a lot of times people, might not be able to afford, say, a Fantastic Four 52, his first appearance, so they'll gravitate to the next best thing, and that might be Black Panther #1. So it's not to say that those books aren't and can't be valuable, but as a savvy collector, you want to do your research, you want to do your homework to know what the first appearances are, because sometimes those are way more valuable than the #1 issue. That's the focus of this video. I'm going to run through some comics. All right, everybody knows this one. Ew, there we go. I was zoomed in way too close. Okay, this is Fantastic Four #48. A very sweet copy of this. Yeah, I'm not going to so much go into condition and prices I paid for these books, because that's not really relevant to the topic. However, this Fantastic Four 48 is the very first appearance of Silver Surfer. This is a major, major book. Silver Surfer goes on to appear in a number of Fantastic Four issues. 49 after this is his first cover appearance with Galactus. Issue number 50, there's a number of Fantastic Four that Silver Surfer appears in. This predates significantly this issue, Silver Surfer #1. See, I just want to be like, it's such a cherry issue, and I want to point out how amazing it is. Like I said, that's not the focus of this video. This is Silver Surfer #1. Now, this is a very key issue, desirable in its own right, but you don't want to overlook Fantastic Four 48. If you didn't do your research, or or as a new collector, or if you were unaware, this is a super key issue. This has major value. Hence, do your research. Okay, we're going to keep going here. Now, this is really interesting to me. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was in the 50s as this Western character that I actually really like. This is a Dick Ayers cover. It basically reprints those 50 Westerns that had this character. I'll show the other issues just because I don't ever see where I would be inclined to make a video just showing these, but personally I really like them. So this is Ghost Rider #1. Okay, this has some value, especially in high grade. However, this does not compare at all in value to this Marvel Spotlight #5. Marvel Spotlight on the Ghost Rider. Now, obviously, they revamped the character from the Western cowboy to the Flaming Skull motorcycle character that we all know and love. This is way more valuable than this. Even though the Western one, you can tell by the 12-cent cover price, definitely predates Marvel Spotlight #5. Now, this predates, there was a number of Marvel Spotlight issues featuring the Ghost Rider, predates his own first title of Ghost Rider #1. Once again, it's not that Ghost Rider #1 in high condition is not a good book to have, is not a valuable book to acquire. However, this one not only predates it, but say if you compare the condition, if both of these books were in the same condition, if you go to gocollect.com and look at current market values, this Marvel Spotlight #5 is going to be way more valuable than this Ghost Rider #1. Now, once again, new collector, you're flipping through, comic book boxes, you're at a comic book convention, you're at your local comic shop, you see this on the wall, you might be, oh yeah, man, it's Ghost Rider #1, I got to get that, and that's great. But don't miss this, going, huh? Marvel Spotlight #5, what the heck is that? And overlook this super key issue. Once again, like I said, I just want to show these real quick because I love them. Western Ghost Rider #2. Western Ghost Rider Number 3, this was a very short run. Number 4, love this cover. Wait, upside down. I paid 87 cents for this back in the day. Now, once again, these do have some value in high grade, but it doesn't compare to anything to like the Ghost Rider number 1 or the Marvel Spotlight. Number 5. Number 6. It's got some date stamps on it. I've discussed this before. Those comic book shop stamps don't really bother me as a collector. I think it sort of adds to the history of it. Now, given, apples to apples, if I had the funds or wanted to acquire an issue without that, air quote, flaw, I certainly would. Once again, not a super valuable issue, so I wasn't bothered by that. This is the last one of the run, Ghost Rider number 7. Also a very cool cover. Really like this. Anyway, so that's Ghost Rider. Moving back to the topic. Adam Warlock. Okay. This is cited as Warlock's first appearance. Yes, he is trapped into a cocoon on Fantastic Four number 67. I have the number 66, which I think technically, well, not fake, it is technically the first appearance of Adam Warlock because they do show the cocoon, I want to say on the last page. Correct me if I'm wrong, comic book experts out there. But this is a very desirable issue. Once again, say you really liked Adam Warlock. You might not know that Fantastic Four 67 was such a key issue in his character arc. Now, after this, he also shows up in a couple of Thor comics. I don't know those numbers offhand. He is called Him. I want to say there's 2, maybe 3 issues of Thor that Adam Warlock appears as Him. Also very desirable, worth collecting. Again, this predates this book. Marvel Premiere featuring The Power of Warlock, number 1. Now, this is also Marvel Premiere number 1, so it could be a little confusing for a new collector because there's a Marvel Premiere number 2 and number 3 and number 4. This happens to be Marvel Premiere number 1 featuring Warlock. This comes before this. The Power of Warlock, number 1. Once again, all 3 of these issues, they do have value, especially in high condition, especially if you're an Adam Warlock fan. After we saw the cocoon thingy in Guardians of the Galaxy, it was sort of a tease that they might do something with this character, considering the certain, situation going on right now. MCU movies are sort of on hold, so it might be a good time to pick these up, because if Adam Warlock shows up in a movie, this Power of Warlock number 1, certainly this Marvel Premiere number 1, this Fantastic Four 67, great books to pick up. Another example, Iron Fist. I was so disappointed in the Netflix Iron Fist show. I don't think there was enough showing his glowing fist. There wasn't enough, kung fu action. Anyway, I love Iron Fist. This is a very key book to have. Once again, a Marvel Premiere. This is number 15. You're flipping through a box. You're like, oh, Marvel Premiere 15. What's that about? And you might pass this over for, say, this book, Iron Fist number 1. Again, both of these in high condition are very collectible. But the Marvel Premiere 15, if you compared same grade to same grade, is much more valuable than this Iron Fist number 1. Which is why my Iron Fist number 1 is not in such great condition. However, I spent more on getting this origin issue of Iron Fist in a higher condition. Sorry, there's my phone trying to focus. Good job, robot phone. Another example, another Marvel Spotlight, number 32, on the Spider-Woman. The guy actually made me a deal. I ended up getting this for $40. not 45. This is super high condition. This predates, and in the same condition is more valuable than Spider-Woman number 1. Paid $1 for. There's your indication right there. $40 for the Marvel Spotlight, $1 for Spider-Woman number 1. Another example. Now, and this is where the character shows up, and it is not even referenced on the title or the cover. This is Adventure into Fear number 19 with the Man-Thing. However, first appearance of Howard the Duck. So if you're a Howard the Duck fan, you might be like, I don't give two about Man-Thing, and you would pass this over, not realizing that this is the Howard Duck first appearance. This is where doing your research and knowing about comics can really help you as a collector. There's your Howard the Duck number 1. Werewolf by Night. Here's another Marvel Spotlight. Marvel Spotlight number 2. Werewolf by Night. Not the best copy. I want to upgrade this. I love me Marvel monsters. I like monsters anyway. I paid very little for this, like I think like, 9 to $12 or something like that. eBay a number of years ago because I didn't have it. I've just not gotten around to upgrading it. But again, this is the Marvel first Werewolf by Night, which precedes Werewolf by Night number 1. I've not really compared the value of these. I'm sure in same condition, the Marvel Spotlight would be more valuable to a collector, but this number 1 is also. This is kind of interesting. This is Marvel Special Edition number 15. This is the first appearance of the Master of Kung Fu. Once again, if you didn't know your research, didn't know your comic books, you might pass this over. This is technically Master of Kung Fu number 1. So this Marvel Special Edition 16 is Master of Kung Fu number 2. So you might go, oh, it's number 16. That's not, early enough edition. Pass it over. This is Master of Kung Fu number 2. Everybody loves some X-Men. They rebooted the X-Men with the new X-Men that started in issue 94. Once again, you might be like, oh, X-Men 94, that's a really high number. I'm gonna collect, X-Men number 1, number 2, number 8, number 12, what have you, and pass over X-Men 94, which is the first appearance. Well, excuse me, second appearance of the new X-Men. The first appearance of the new X-Men is in giant size X-Men number 1. If you find that and you can afford that, definitely pick that up. Following that same storyline, here's number 95. So in terms of the new X-Men in the regular storyline, this would be new X-Men number 2. You might see that 95, pass that over. 96, you might pass that over. Excuse me. Both are really, well, all three of these are really good issues to have. If you're a Wolverine fan, outside of the little trilogy of Hulk 180, 181, 182, giant size of X-Men 1, these are his next appearances. Now, sometimes there's first appearances in characters, particularly with villains, that are just in random one-off issues. For example, I just love showing this. I've acquired this fairly recently. Got this from Chris on the We Love Comics channel. I made him an offer, which he was kind enough to accept. Now, this is, Spider-Man number 14. If you know anything about comics, if you can find any Spider-Man under issue number 30 that is at a good price, snatch that up. Those are all, very desirable. Some certainly worth more than others, especially when you get to those lower numbers. But here's a major villain that doesn't show up until Spider-Man number 14. That's where you need to find him. Another villain, this is, jumped off with the movie trailer obviously sort of put on hold with the current situation. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 101. This is the first appearance of Morbius. So you might see, later things. I'm sure, they've rebooted Morbius where now he has his own title. This is going to be way more valuable than any of those, at least for a long, long, long time. Don't pass this up going, oh, well, it's Spider-Man 101, so it's not an early Spider-Man. Must not be worth anything. Wrong. First appearance of Morbius. Another random one. Captain America number 117. This is the first appearance of the Falcon. I got this at a little flea market. I spent like $6-7 on this. I didn't even realize it was the first appearance of the Falcon when I got it. I hadn't done my research because I wasn't really looking for the first appearance of the Falcon, but I saw the coming of the Falcon. I noticed that his costume was not the normal white and red one that I was familiar with. So I was like, wow, this might be a really early appearance of the Falcon, and for $7-8, I better grab this. Thankfully, I did. Last one, Rocket Raccoon. Long before there was any Rocket Raccoon, comics where he was featured or the title character, long before Guardians of the Galaxy movies came out, and this one right here, Hulk number 271. First appearance of Rocket Raccoon. So if you're a Rocket Raccoon fan, this is the one to get. I hope this was, sort of informative or, illustrative. Once again, for like newer collectors, there's all kinds of online resources and tools and stuff that you can find out. Like I said, the first appearance of any character, you can find out the issues that they appeared in as they happen sequentially. There it is, sequentially. Wow. That was a big Scrabble word right there. So as they appeared sequentially in comic books, where say the character might have appeared in a couple of issues of the Avengers, and then he appeared in a couple issues of Captain America, maybe Hulk or what have you, and you can follow the linear progression of that character. So if you've got a favorite character, you can see his story develop. If as a collector, if you're looking for key issues, certainly looking up any character's first appearance. And I don't want to say any character because there's certainly some crazy Marvel characters that never really went anywhere. But if you know the character, even if you just love them, or if you're doing it for speculation for comics that might rise in value, find out their first appearance. It may not be what you think it is. Those are the ones you need to be aware of. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm not going to ramble on any more about that. Again, thank you, Alex the Comic Hoarder, for giving my little janky channel a shout out. I've got tons of comics, plenty of cool stuff to show you guys. Stay tuned. If you want to leave a comment in the comics section, tell me what you think I'm doing good. Tell me what you think I'm doing that sucks. Any tips or advice, well received. Everybody be safe out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one.